and I'm a member of Brainstorm Your Uniform. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a simple gym bag out of unused or old clothes that you can get anywhere. Every piece of clothing you're wearing has gone through a complex manufacturing process that uses a high amount of electricity, water, and other energy sources. Recycling clothes saves energy by reducing or eliminating the need to make materials from scratch. The fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the world. This is no surprise considering it produces about 10% of humanity's carbon emissions. 2,700 liters of water are required to produce only one t-shirt. Simply put, the uniform mandate commonly seen among private schools is harmful from an environmental point of view. Although school uniforms may not be labeled as fast fashion, it is just as detrimental, because each new academic year students buy a new pair of uniform, leaving their older ones unused. For this project, I'll be using old school pants. As the main fabric, I'll be using the trouser legs. Now cut two rectangles with the dimensions of 37 and 90 centimeters. Cut one rectangle from the first trouser leg and another rectangle from the second trouser leg. Once you're done with cutting the rectangles, now it's time to cut two anchor tabs, which are 8 cm long and 3 cm wide. Cut two squares from the two corners of the bag with a dimension of 3 cm. Start by threading your needle. Fold your fabric in half lengthwise and pin it in place to avoid the two layers sliding apart as you work. If your fabric has a front and back to the weave, you need to make sure the front is turning in and the back is outside facing towards you. Make a knot at one end and being from the bottom left corner and work your way to the top right, leaving half to one seam allowance over your stitches. I recommend backstitch as it is very strong seam. You don't have to copy my stitches in terms of the size. It is just my habit when sewing by hand. Think about what you want to store in the bag you're making. If you want to be able to buy rice with it, well, then your stitches need to be smaller than the width of a grain of rice. Adjust accordingly. rectangles that we cut together, without the pieces facing each other and lining pieces together too. Start your main part of the bag with a knot. You can leave a little tail to stitch over, but you should still make it a secure knot. And the fabric or seam from the back to front. You can roll it through more than one layer of fabric when you want to hide the knot between the layers. Bring the needle through the fabric from back to front again. With each stitch, the needle should always come through in the same direction. As you add stitches, the thread should be wrapping around the edge of the material. Pull each stitch so the thread is right at the fabric edge, but not pulling it down tight. It can take some practice to get the tension even, but the more you stitch, the easier it gets. It's also a good idea to keep the stitch spacing even so your overcast stitch looks neat and uniform. Once you have sewn your way all the way around, give yourself a pat on the back. We're almost done. We only have threading drawstrings left. Remember the anchor tabs you made? It's time to baste them on. Fold the outer front pieces and place them on the side of the outer front pieces, at the bottom edge where we cut squares.
It's a good story. Can you tell me the story? Yeah, can you tell me the story? Yeah, the story of the peppa pig on your book.
For the drawstrings, I'll be using the yarn. Measure the length of the yarn according to the length of drawstrings you want. Cut 6 pieces for each drawstring and twist them together. One drawstring will have 6 strings of yarn with the same length. My strings are 90 centimeters long. Split the 6 strings into 2, meaning each side will have 3 strings. Twist the 3 strings of yarn together and then twist the other remaining 3. Once you're done twisting them separately, it's time to twist these 2 strings together. At the end, they will look like a row. Attach a safety pin to the end of the drawstring, so that we get a solid piece of metal that we can move through the drawstring tunnel. It still takes a little bit of pulling and patience, but you will get there at the end. Once you get to the other side, pull the safety pin out, tie a knot on the 2 ends of the drawstring, and ta-da! Now you have one handmade drawstring bag that you recycled from old or unused clothes that you can use for anything you like. You can put your gym clothes there, you can use it for PHE lessons, you can carry your water bottle in when you go for trips, or anywhere else.